Vanoggend fokus ons op die moontlike oplossings vir die groeiende internasionale tekort aan water en ons verwelkom vir Dr. Sylvester Mpandeli, navorsingsbestuurder by die Waternavorsingskommissie. Good morning and thank you so much for joining us for this discussion.
Good morning to you and to your listeners.
Mr. Mpandeli, it has been rumored that the next world war will probably be over water. What is the science behind this rather sinister comment?
Look, we are aware that, water is a problem across the globe, and South Africa is not immune to that. We are one of those countries that falls amongst 30 driest in the world. And if you look at our annual average rainfall, is between 460 to 840 millimeters average per annum. And this is due to high extreme climatic events and climate change. This is also due to poor rainfall distribution across the country. But I don't think there will be world war with regards to water issues. I know that, it has been reported several times, for example, in East Africa. There are pastoralists or, smallholder farmers who are fighting for grazing land. But in South Africa, we have not yet reached that stage. I think we are very fortunate based on the fact that we've got a very good knowledge generation organization like Water Research Commission, CSIR, ARC, that are always, providing advisory information. And majority of farmers or end users, they listen to those, advices, take action and so on. But we still have got a long way to go.
And we won't reach that point anytime soon.
No. It's just an exaggeration which is not even backed by scientific evidence. Yeah.
What are some of South Africa's most prominent challenges in the water sector today?
I think there are several challenges. I can just list only a few. The first one is the operation and maintenance with regards to the infrastructure. And that is why, if you look at local level, people are always talking about poor water quality and so on. And the second issue is the climate change issue. We are not getting enough rainfall. But at the same time, we cannot continue with the business as usual scenario. We cannot continue using water as if maybe we are getting, above normal rainfall. So we need to come up with the various mechanisms of making sure that, each and every drop of water counts. And I will elaborate later on why am I saying this. The third one is the policy implementation. South Africa has got a very good policies. But the biggest challenge is the implementation. And it's well acknowledged, across the globe, which is a bit of a problem. The other issue is the water access, especially in rural areas, complemented by, poor water quality. So as a result of that, you find that, all these challenges are interrelated. So as a result of that, you find that, as a country, we are facing multi-stresses. But it's also compounded by other socio-economic issues. So, I think those four are the most critical ones.
I think we misunderstand how big a water network is. We're thinking just our homes open up a tap, but as you say, agriculture, they work with a certain amount, you pay for a certain amount of water. Then you think rural areas, then you think cities, then you think bigger businesses. It's just such a big network. But why was the Western Cape, what do you think went wrong there to be surprised all of a sudden running out of water? With such a big province, knowing, let's say for a year, trouble is coming, what could have they done? Wat had ze verkeerde Engels gebruikt?
In fact, I think with regards to Western Cape, if you look at our climate change projections, it shows the rainfall shift towards the eastern side. So as a result of that, the model shows that, Western Cape is going to be facing, below normal rainfall distribution. But I do believe that, we cannot just stand on top of the roof and start screaming. We need to be innovative and being proactive and take corrective measures. And I think one of the strategies is to come up with water conservation and demand management, but also looking at the early warning system, so that we shouldn't be caught off guard.
Yes.
So as a result of that, I still believe that we can correct the situation. I know that you gave an example about the agriculture sector, and there's always this discussion that the sector utilizes more water, more than 62%. But the bottom line is that we still need to quantify whether is it correct or not. Are we really using that? And Water Research Commission has got a project right now wherein we are quantifying that, and we would like to come up with the correct figure. But we should also take cognizance of the fact that we need to produce food, but that does not justify that the farming community can just use water as if maybe we are receiving above normal rainfall. But the good thing is that there are various innovative or technologies that we are using within the agriculture sector.
I'm going to stop you there, dokter, maar ons gaan nou verder gesels en gelukkig is hierdie onderhoud nie in Wenda nie. Dink hoe sou ek dan gesukkel het. Could have done. Oh, bly geskakel vir jou sport net hierna.
Ons gaan voort met ons gesprek oor water en meer spesifiek moontlike oplossings vir die groeiende internasionale tekort aan water. En ons sê weer eens welkom aan Dr. Sylvester Mpandeli, navorsingsbestuurder by die Waternavorsingskommissie. Mr. Mpandeli, what are possible long-term solutions to looming freshwater shortages worldwide?
I think there are several, long-term solutions. And one of them is for the water sector to develop the climate change adaptation plans, which will address some of the challenges that we are facing. The other solution is the fact that currently we have developed what we call water administrative system. It's a water monitoring, decision supporting tool. It has been developed by Water Research Commission, but the good thing is that decision supporting tool has been adopted internationally, and we were even given an award at the International Commission on Irrigation and Drainage. The other solution is to make sure that we do what we call the science policy interface, which means that the knowledge that we are generating should be translated into policies, plans, and strategies. Policies or plans should be developed based on scientific evidence, so that at the end of the day, we will be able to take proactive decisions. The other alternative is to make sure that we collaborate with other countries. A very good example is Israel. And then Israel has got the best technology in terms of, especially for the agriculture and the water sector. And if you look at the average annual rainfall, it's less than 60 millimeters. But they are producing enough food to feed their people. Same applies with Egypt. Egypt's annual average rainfall is 51 millimeters. And they are feeding, plus or minus 90 million people.
Sure.
If in South Africa we have got we are receiving between 460 to 840 millimeters, and we are still complaining about water, obviously something is not okay. So, we need to learn lessons from other countries. But at the same time, we also need to change the mindset of our people to say water is a scarce commodity, and we need to make sure that, we take care of that. That is why, if you look at Department of Water and Sanitation, it has got various interventions programs like rainwater harvesting, conservation, water management, and so on. So all these programs have been developed in such a way that, at the end of the day, we need to be able to use our water resources in a very effective and efficient manner. Same applies, with the international community. Because remember, some of the programs are benchmarked based on what is happening across the globe.
Yeah.
So we are not operating as a lone ranger. We participate to international forums, conferences, and there are bilateral agreements. So at the end of the day, remember, water shortages does not have boundaries. It's like climate change. Climate change doesn't take boundaries to say this is South African border and then this is Mozambican border. If it's affecting the SADC region, everybody will feel the pain.
Yes.
Yeah.
We will continue with this discussion a little further on, and then I want to concentrate on the innovative water ideas, I think, which we could be very excited about. But stay tuned. Ons gaan nou verder gesels. Ons gaan voort met ons gesprek met Dr. Sylvester Mpandeli, navorsingsbestuurder by die Waternavorsingskommissie, en ons fokus vanoggend op moontlike oplossings vir die groeiende internasionale tekort aan water. Mr. Mpandeli, what are some of the innovative water ideas that are currently being evaluated in South Africa and also worldwide?
We have got several technologies that we have developed. Some of them, they are being tested across the country. A very good one is the wetting front detector technology, which was developed by University of Pretoria Water Research Commission in collaboration with CSIRO, Council for Science Industrial Research in Australia. And as a result of that, the technology is very simple. Anybody can just use it. It's just a funnel with a probe. You bury it in the soil. It depends on the depth of the soil. Some, they prefer to bury it at 15 or 30 or 60 centimeters. As soon as you start irrigating, the probe just comes out to show you that, the water has reached maybe 30 centimeters. You can just switch it off for your irrigation system. And that technology is being used across sectors by smallholder farmers, big commercial farmers, any person, who has got a loan can also use that. And it's a very good technology. Now, there's also a latest version, we call it a chameleon. When you are using that, it gives you different colors. It shows that, now water is reached at certain depth, the water is reached the root depth of this crop, you can just switch it off. And the whole idea is to make sure that, we conserve our water resources. Making sure that, every drop counts. So as a result of that, we need to produce more food with less water. And this principle, it started with the Food and Agriculture Organization in Rome, in FAO. So as a result of that, we are spreading that message. The good thing is that there are positive feedback coming from various stakeholders to say this is the way to go. Another technology is the water administrative system that I've mentioned earlier on. It's being used in Northern Cape in the Valhaz irrigation schemes. We have learned that we can save up to 25% of our water resources in that irrigation scheme.
Yes.
There are also other technologies that are there. A very good example is the models that we developed, like the soil water balance model, the SAPWAT, ACRO model, and so on. But if you look at the principle, is to make sure that the agriculture sector utilizes water in a very, very efficient and a strategic way. And remember, we need to share these resources with other key strategic sectors like energy, mining, and so on. So we are trying by all means to develop this technology in order for us to minimize competition.
Yes.
And remember, we also have got the responsibility to make sure that we sustain the economy of this country. And the water is at the center of all these sustainable development activities. So we need to safeguard
Yes.
and make sure that our resources are being used in such a way that even the future generation will also be able to access the same commodity.
I'm going to have to stop you there, but it's very important to know that every drop counts. So thank you so much for joining us for this discussion. Dit was dan Dr. Sylvester Mpandeli, navorsingsbestuurder by die Waternavorsingskommissie.
Het is nie by alles uitgekom nie, maar ek wil jou motiveer om vir Dr. Sylvester te Google as jy in landbou, mynbou en soos gehoor het. Ek dink as almal saamwerk, is dit broodnodig. Hy is 'n ongelooflike kenner op die gebied. Jy gaan verras wees met al sy artikels.